my what's this? My teacher, Rabbi Mendel Futafas. So he told me, here's a picture of Rabbi Mendel Futafas I have on my book. Here's Rabbi Mendel Futafas. See, you can see a picture. He has a little. So he told me like this: when he was a young child, maybe 5 years old, something like that. Now, in Judaism, children learn how to read. They begin to learn about 3 years old. When they're 5 years old, they can already read the Chumash and things like that. So he told the story that he came to school one day. Now, in those days, and that he came to learn, this was like in the early 1900s, 1910, whatever. Anyway, so the early 1900s. So there used to be. I remember even seeing this in school when I learned in school. When I learned in school, they weren't using, but there used to be on every desk in elementary school. There was a hole in the corner that you would put a bottle for ink, and people would bring to class. Children would bring to class a pen or a quill or something. I don't know exactly what it was, and they would fill it up with ink and they would write with it. So it was back then. This was in Russia, and they were learning the Torah, and every child had to bring ink from home. The school didn't provide the ink. You had to bring ink from your own. And so everybody, there was one brought ink from their home. So the teacher was standing with his back to the class, preparing on the board, and he heard the children speaking to one another. Let's say there was 20 children in the class. He heard the children talking to one another. And one child said, the ink that I brought from home, it spilled out. When I came here, it spilled, the bottle broke. Can I borrow some ink from you? He said from the child next to him. And the child said, listen, I only have enough for myself. I can't loan you. So he said to the child on the other side, maybe you can loan me a little bit of ink. He said, no, I only have enough for myself. I can't give you. So the child didn't have any ink. What could he do? So he was going to go to the teacher and ask him. And the teacher turned around and said, okay, class, everyone sit in their chairs. And now we're going to start learning Aleph base, like alphabet, Aleph base. Now, these children had already learned Aleph base like 2 years ago. They already knew Aleph base. So the children sort of snickered and they laughed. They thought it was a joke. They said, okay. He pointed to one of the boys in the class and said, open up your siddur. See, in Chabad, the siddur is like this. See, here's a siddur, here's a prayer book. And you open it up, and there he is right in the beginning. Here. See, Aleph base, right? So he said, open up your siddur. If the child opened up, tell me where is Aleph. Point to Aleph. So the child pointed here. This is Aleph. Where's Beit? Said, this is Beit. The teacher says, no, that's not. You're wrong. So the child thought, well, maybe, he was holding it up like this. Maybe he wasn't looking at what he was pointing. So he looked at it around like this. Said, this is Aleph. The teacher says, that's not right. So the children would look. They thought, how could he make such a mistake? They're looking. They said, no, he pointed to Aleph, and the teacher said, that's not Aleph. So the child didn't know what to say. The teacher said, I'll tell you what Aleph Beit is. What's Aleph Beit Gimel? Aleph is if your friend hasn't got any ink and he asks you for ink and you do have, you give him some. That's Aleph. What's Beit? Beit is if your friend doesn't have any ink and you do have ink and he asks you for some, you give him some. What's Gimel? Gimel is if your friend doesn't have any ink, if your friend doesn't have any ink and he asks you for some, you have to give him some. That's Aleph base of Judaism, to give to others. That's Aleph base. It says, if you don't have that, then you haven't got the whole basis of Judaism. You haven't got the whole basis of Torah. That's Aleph base. From that, he understood that the essence of Judaism is not just to receive and to increase our knowledge, not to increase, of course, you have to do that. But the main thing is to give to others, give a good look to others, give a good word to others, care about others, give charity to others, even if it means just saying good morning. But be concerned with others and try to provide what they are lacking. Have a good day with Mashiach now, and I'll see you, God willing, on Sunday, 8 o'clock in the morning.